I started taking a class where it was kind of like pre-ballet, but I remember learning to walk like a lady and learning to curtsy and being elegant. And I remember my mom saying, this is really important for you, because I was such a tomboy. I was always climbing trees and falling down, scraped knees and bruises. And then slowly, I think through the next few years, 7, 8, 9, 10, I was doing gymnastics, and that was really my love. It was much more physical at that young age than ballet really was, and I just got way too tall. And I had an instructor who said, she's very graceful, why don't you put her into ballet? And I think that was the shift, and my parents, I think, just put me into ballet, a more serious school. This was in Maine, where I grew up, but kind of the better school in the state at that time. And actually, I liked it a lot better once it got really serious. I started to realize how much I loved watching ballet. I enjoyed doing it as a 10-year-old and 11-year-old, and I got a huge amount of positive feedback, which I guess is it's so important just to humans in general, and that good feeling that I would get from taking class. But I started to realize, I love to go see the ballet. My mom would take me. Sometimes we'd go to Boston. Certainly if a company came, toured through Portland, Maine, we would go, and I just loved it. And I would go home wanting to do it. And I think I started to read books about being a ballet dancer. I didn't so much love class still. And that's the hard part, I guess, of being a student. And that's what's so important about having performing opportunities, even as a student, real, meaty performing opportunities, because class is hard. Classes are, in large part, it's about being told what you're doing wrong. My mom and dad, they're so cute. They always say, oh, you always really sparkled on stage. You always really stood out, which, I think because they're my parents. That's right. So, but I think I always did, like I was saying earlier, I did, there was something about the performing aspect that I liked. And I don't know if it was, I think when I was younger, maybe it was being somebody different. There's something that happens when you go on the stage, and I think you realize this is just about being generous. People they really just want to see a bold performance, and I'm going to do my best to, it's funny, this is kind of Christopher a little bit coming out in me, but really it's like to entertain. And whether that means, Swan Lake and the despair, or whether it means something comic like the concert, truly I'm just going to do my best to entertain you. I'm just coming to understand and trying to reconcile myself with how different partnering is from dancing alone. That the woman has a role to play and the man has a role to play, and the man really has to drive it. He has to drive it. I can help, and I help by following his lead. And that's something that, in social dancing and ballroom dancing, everyone knows that, but that's not taught very, very well, oftentimes in ballet. So ironically, Christopher has brought, so many fantastic partners here to the company, for me and for all the women, I think. But I'm actually starting to love partnering in a different, I used to fear it. I used to think, I'm not good at this because I'm big. I'm not good at this because I'm too much. And now I'm starting to understand it's like a really fun new skill. At some level of proficiency, it stops being about who's the best dancer, and it starts to be what each ballerina or male ballet dancer is bringing to a particular role. I've enjoyed coming to that. I guess one thing that I've started to do is to, as far as, trying to have a good day and a good performance, I've tried to really remember all the things that I have in my life, whether it's just my friendships, my family, and remember how important those things. I think ballet, more than anything else, I think it's sort of a microcosm of life. And I guess I say that because of the accelerated trajectory. You're generally going to be retiring around 40. A lot of people retire in their 30s. So you see time passing in a really different way than I think other, 28, 29, 30-year-olds see it. You're already starting to feel like, I'm almost just over the hill. But also what I've really learned from ballet, and I hope I'll take with me, is just that daily work, that just wanting to have a great performance isn't going to give you a great performance. It's just that going in and doing it every single day, doing your class, doing your rehearsal, with integrity, with honesty about who you are and what you want to do. And so I'm not sure where I'm going to go after I retire, but I think I'm coming to understand that it's just going to be a real step-by-step process, just the same way as, putting together a show.